YouTubers? This is your boy Cartoon, and I'm here today to bring another Bleach Brave Souls video. I'm going to be doing the 6-star 100% character analysis on none other than Sanban Tai Tai Cho Oterebashi Judo. That's right, I'm going to be doing the 6-star 100% character analysis on the captain of Squad 3, Rojuro Oterebashi. Wait, what? I thought his name was Rose. Without further ado, guys, let's get into this bad boy. Alright, so looking at his stats, they're not really all that impressive stats when it comes down to it. He has a 769 stamina to start with, and it's a mass stamina. I mean, it's on the higher end, it's pretty good for PvP magnification, but not something that's that serious in my opinion. Attack, 516. This is actually really decent attack, I guess, because he is a fully ranged character, so we're not usually depending on his attack prowess. Next, defense, 290. This is actually on the higher side of defense. It's 10 points shy of 300, and it is definitely above average. Focus, once again, another above average attribute. It stands at 283, 17 points shy of 300, and it is one of the best attributes on him, you know, in terms of those ones that we don't care about. And lastly, SP, 593. This is the standout attribute on this character. So he's going to be having pretty decent strong attack damage from what I can see, and really good crits to go right along with it. And I hear he's a frenzy user, so good crits and strong attack damage, that's a big plus. Alright. He also has a captain killer. This is a high-end killer, which means that he's only going to be getting his attribute damage throughout PvE scenarios. He's not going to be getting any type of extra additional buff damage, which is going to stink. Only in boss rooms and only in PvP. And lastly, his soul trait is strong attack recharge, and it stands to go really great with that SP and focus. So let's get into his soul tree. Alright, so looking at his soul tree, you'll notice he has 7 attainable upgrades, none of which block his path to 150, so farmers alike, if you want to completely max this character out, you're going to need a crap ton of focus jewels, which is a really good plus for this character because everyone has those lying around. So from left to right, top to bottom, let's go over these. Sprinter, this increases the number of flash steps, very standard on most characters. Next, Blast Zone increases his special move area of effect. Now he kind of has like a full screener, but I don't even care about this attainable upgrade. It's just make his special bigger when you make him, Caleb. What are you doing? Why is that even a thing for new characters? Next, Bruiser increases his normal attack damage. This is a big plus because once again he is a ranged character, so you're going to want extra normal attack damage. Next, Frenzy increases strong attack hits. Whoa, that's what I'm talking about. That's a good one. Next, Devastation increases special move damage. I'm not a fan of this one. Prefer Bombardment. Next, Long Reach increases normal attack area of effect. I don't know if reach was a problem for him, but whatever. And lastly, increases the strong attack cooldown time by 2% more. So it's an upgraded soul trait, and that's always a big plus for any character. Alright, so this guy's looking pretty good, pretty evenly spread out, and let's just get into those clips. I hope you guys enjoy. Running a sad build. Alright, so since we're running a sad build, let's test out those cooldowns. So the first strong attack is going to cool down at 7 seconds, and it hits 8 times. The second strong attack cools down at 14 seconds and hits a total of 18 times. The final strong attack cools down at 21 seconds and it hits for a total of 6 times. These are fairly standard cooldown times for that 14% link, all intervals of 7. Alright, so let's get started testing out these mechanics. Now, one thing to note about this character is his first strong attack actually hits 8 times only when he's about 2 character spaces away from his targets. It's not going to do the full damage if you're point blank range. The second strong actually hits 18 times when you hit point blank range, and the third strong only hits 6 hits if you're 2 character spaces away from your targets once again. So his damage all solely depends on how much range damage he's doing. You know, and he does a really good job at playing keep away, much like Aizen did with his mobs, so that he can bide him his time for cooldowns. He's very fast at his normal string. He doesn't do a lot of damage on it, but you know, for what he's doing right now,
like this is a really comfortable playstyle because he's fully ranged, so range guard break is no problem for him because all his strongs will break that, and he's got these really fast normals. Even if they're not doing a lot of damage, they are certainly smacking from across the room at a considerable rate. So it's very nice to see a character like this, and a mid-month character at that. You know, I don't see much damage from his strong attacks, but the real good balance between his normals and his strongs and the correlation between the two is really, really likable for a sad build. I like it. It's pretty good. Sad. Time to test out Rose's special. No tension time. Nice. Take that.
Running a SAR build. Alright, so since we're in the SAR build, let's test out those cooldown times. So first strong attack is going to cool down at 4 seconds and once again hits 8 times. The second strong attack cools down at 8 seconds and hits a total of 18 times. The final strong attack cools down at 12 seconds and hits a total of 6 times. These are fairly standard cooldown times for a SAR build on a 14% recharge link. Alright, so let's get started into playstyle and mechanics on a SAR build. One thing I like about this character is he has that wide AoE on his third strong, so just in case you get in a jam, you just use your third strong. But with the SAR build, like with your first strong attack cooling down at this rate, and it's designed so that you keep the mobs as far as possible and you shoot it off, because that's how you maximize the damage. You know, you maximize the AoE of the second one by not hitting point blank range, but with 18 hits, I could just one-shot something almost. It's crazy. Alright, so yeah, I'm liking this build a lot. I'm just bombarding them with constant attacks, and you know, since his NAD isn't that great, I mean, it's not so bad to throw in a couple of NAD shots in there in between, but in between is so short. Especially with that recharge link, it's just, when you're using a recharge character full SAR, it's just always a nice thing. This guy is disgusting at this build. SAR. I like running a NAD build. Alright, so first things first, since we're writing a NAD build, let's test out that string. 1, 2, 3, 4. So he has a 4-hit, 4-phase attack string. For a ranged character, it's not much of an oddity now, I guess. Alright, so let's get into this mechanics of how you play him. Now, if I was going to play him with a NAD build, I probably wouldn't use Chappies. I'd use one of those new Duck and Dogs. But unfortunately, this is the only way I can get to that max attack. But he's doing, you know, he's clearing well over 3k a hit, which is pretty decent because he doesn't have like a low end killer. He has a captain killer, which means that he's not really doing as much damage as people with a wrong card killer or hollow killer when displayed with their attribute advantages. As you can see, he's just wiping out mobs. I don't even need to use my strong attacks, but usually when that gap gets closed, I will bring out a couple strong attacks just to kind of put everyone down. And the good thing about his strong attacks is uniform knockdown. So he's just going to knock them down and kind of just keep them down pretty much. The only one that has a little bit of pushback is this one right here, the second strong attack. And once again, it just provides really great utility to continue hammering the opponents with DPS from your NAD. You know, you will have to watch out about range characters and stuff, and you will have to probably whip out the strong attacks a lot sooner. Yeah, damn burn. But a NAD build is a very good build, very flexible. I like it. Gets an even score. Well, there you have it. That's my 6-star 100% character analysis on Captain Rose. In the end, you find that this character works particularly well with a SAR build as it gets the top score. A SAD build gets the secondary score, and a NAD build gets the final score. And the breakdown for this is fairly simple. When it comes down to a SAR build, this is probably the safest way to play this character, and it is going to have pretty decent DPS over time. Okay, being able to sneak in 2 normals in there, or a couple of normals in between your cooldowns for your strong attacks is absolutely imperative for this character. Not only that, another thing that you need to take note of if you're going to use this build is remain 2 character spaces away from wherever you're launching your strong attacks onto your adversaries. Remaining 2 character spaces away in proximity is actually the best way to maximize the potential damage of all of his strong attacks. So he's
fully ranged in every sense of the word. You're able to stand back and just shoot a whole bunch of strong attacks. In between your cooldowns, you can, shoot 2 normals or so, and then, just back up, because his normals put him a considerable distance toward his mobs. So that's why you always want to remain 2 character spaces away at the very least. All right, and his strong attacks encompass such wide AoE that they're going to hit a lot more mobs than, most characters' strong attacks. So it's always really good to actually have constant recharges on this, and just it's really bombarding the way you're hitting all these opponents with these strong attacks. And it's frenzied hits. What more could you ask for? Recharge, frenzy, they're best friends. Come on, it's one of the best play styles here, and it produces really good clear times. When it comes down to a sad build, which also produces pretty decent clear times, I just don't like the playstyle too much myself, because even when I'm biding my time and I'm using additional normals, because now you have to use a lot more normals in between your strong attacks, it's kind of annoying, because if you have 2 stragglers off at the corner or something like that, you can't, you have to individualize DPS too much, especially when you're in that biding time. You're gonna have to wait a little bit and use your normals and sometimes clean up mobs. It can prove to be a little bit sloppy in my opinion, but it does produce very, very decent clear times. I do like this build a lot, and I would recommend using it. It's pretty good. All right, and when it comes down to a NAD build, this build, I don't know how I feel about this build. I'm on the fence about it, and it's because he does really decent normal attack damage, and he is fully ranged, so it's actually a big plus, because he does provide range guard break for all of his NAD abilities. If he wants to use NAD, he can, because all his strong attacks are range guard break. I would advise that you do not use chappies with this build, and it could probably potentially increase the clear time farther than a SAR build would. But a NAD build is completely impractical for co-op, and it's completely impractical for this character when he doesn't really have NAD that's going to launch wide AoE hits on big mobs. What I find is that the mobs have to be really close together in order for them to be hit with one NAD string. So it doesn't really have good splash damage, is what I would say. So it begs the question, what the hell was that long reach for? Was it really that bad before? But he has long reach, and I don't even notice it, because he still pretty much provides the same distance of shot, and I think the attack got a little bit bigger, but I just really don't like his NAD at all that much, because he has to come extremely close to complete his string. He has to continuously go forward with every hit. He does decent damage with it, but individualizing DPS on specific mobs is just a no-go for me, in my opinion. In terms of co-op, I like him a lot. I would use him in co-op with that recharge build, of course, because he's just able to cover the screen with so many strong attacks. It's so awesome. Well, he's not covering the screen, but he hits really big groups of mobs with strong attacks, and I like it. He's not going to be the hero in co-op either, though. He's not going to be that guy who's taking everything out, Fullbring Ichigo or something. He's just going to pretty much provide good support for his team, and that's pretty much where you want to keep it. Especially since he only procs a status ailment of paralysis on that second strong, and very circumstantial. All right, it's undebilitated as well. So when it comes down to PvP, wow, what a trying time when I was doing PvP with this character. He just doesn't do what he needs to do. All right, now normally a range character for me is a character that's definitely going to be stalling his opponent out. Whether you play them with dodge or DR, you're going to have them stalled out until your attacker comes in and kills them, or you pretty much outlast them, because that's usually what ranged DPS does. They outlast their opponent. In terms of his AI mechanics and how they move across the field, I find him moving into his opponents all the time. He's moving all the way into the other team, his other teammates fight, and he winds up getting them killed because he can't handle his own problems. So that's a little annoying, and especially seeing as when you put him up against people like Toshiro or Sajin, who he's naturally supposed to have a really good affinity over, he just doesn't do good damage against them, and he winds up dying as well. I believe that all of his attack patterns are completely circumstantial, and they really don't help you out in PvP at all. In fact, I would recommend that you keep this guy completely out of the PvP arena, or keep him out of your mind or thoughts in terms of PvP, because he's just horrible in my opinion. He just doesn't do it for me, and he's an orange character, so he's going to be extra squishy. That 290 defense means absolutely nothing. It gets thrown right out the window. Okay, so in terms of this character scoring, I'm going to give him a B rating, and
that means that you're clear to level him up. He's a really good character and he could provide great utility PvE wise. But in terms of PvP, this guy will have you restarting the app faster than it crashing. Yeah. So he loses points based solely on that. Otherwise, he would have gotten an A. But I just can't do cringy PvP with characters. It just bothers the hell out of me. Alright? So level him up if you like him. If you don't even worry about him. Just save him for another rainy day or something. But that's just my analysis. You're more than welcome to make up your own opinions on this matter because that's what this is about, guys. But either way, that's my video. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to rate, comment, and subscribe as always. I'll be bringing you more Bleach Brave Souls content throughout the week. I'm your boy Scartoon, and I'm signing out of here.
Dude, chill. Productions.